So apparently there's a statistic indicating that over 15 billion of VET, which is VeChain's primary native token, there's a statistic indicating how that much is currently locked up, which actually represents around 17.5% of the total supply when it comes to VET, which I think is pretty impressive. And this is actually according to Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul. I'm talking about Paul, who is the managing partner at VeChain Stats. So this is pretty impressive. And this is actually, I think, kind of a progress report indicating just how well the Hayabusa upgrade has kind of been. I'll discuss all that in today's video and I'll talk about the price later. However, I first want to clarify, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. This is just my perspective and nothing I say is financial advice. Now, if we take a look at it, why is this pretty impressive? Because again, we have to consider around 17.5% of the total supply as of right now is currently being locked up. The reason why this is impressive is because that's going to indirectly give the project more stability. It's going to indicate more conviction when it comes to the project. And okay, sure, things are going down, the market isn't doing the best, but a statistic like that does indicate that even though the market conditions as of right now are unfavorable, some people out there still have a long-term mindset, as evidently seen with how around 17.5% of the total supply is currently being locked up. People usually don't do that if they don't have a long-term conviction. Now, if I take a look at it, people like to say, well, why is VeChain going down though, if that's the case? Well, the whole market is not doing the best. Bitcoin's going down. So what? This is randomly going to go on an independent rally of its own? Oh, no. It's not going to be doing that, right? You know, I'm still a fan of VeChain, but it can't just randomly go on an independent rally of its own if the market isn't doing the best. That's typically not how it works. Now, people like to say, well, why even care about around 17.5% of the total supply being locked up? That's not even the best. True, it's not the best, far from it, arguably, but it's not bad nonetheless, in my opinion, considering the size of VeChain. Keep in mind, this is something that's ranked 86 in the world. So it's still pretty massive, ranked top 100, but it's not top 50 or top 20 or anything like that. But again, for where it is as of right now, seeing that much of the supply basically be locked up, it's not that bad, at least from what I can see. And again, I think indirectly, the Hayabusa upgrade did a lot of things to affect this. You know, the Hayabusa upgrade, people like to make fun of it, but if we take a look at the Hayabusa upgrade and also Stargate, you know, that's pretty massive. So when I take a look at, let's say in the case of VeChain, they've been cooking as of late. And keep in mind as well, I even saw a statistic not too long ago that showcased that the Google searches for VeChain is actually skyrocketing as of late. Now, the reason why is because of the recent UFC event where Conor McGregor had a match against Max Holloway. Because of that, because of the magnitude of that event, regardless of the result, people see VeChain, right? Because VeChain is literally a partner when it comes to the UFC. And when people were watching Conor McGregor basically, you know, have an issue with his knee live, and they're taking a look at VeChain right there, I think it kind of, you know, brought a lot more attention when it comes to VeChain. Did it affect the price though? No. But still, the Google searches when it comes to VeChain seems to be skyrocketing a little bit after that UFC event, which is pretty impressive. It sounds a little bit ridiculous. People like to say, well, VeChain's down almost 4% in the past 24 hours. How can the amount of searches be going up? Well, the amount of searches going up doesn't necessarily reflect the price charts going up, right? It just showcases that VeChain has more attention as of late, but it's still not able to kind of move independently like that. Like, it's still very dependent on the market conditions overall. So it's not doing anything that different, but at the same time, what's happening is that some people out there may be taking a look at VeChain more. It doesn't mean they're going to automatically believe in it, but if VeChain has better exposure through the UFC event, why is that a bad thing? I think if anything, it's actually pretty cool and pretty interesting. Now, if we take a look at it as well, people like to tell me, well, VeChain, can it ever recover? Now, I don't have the answer to that question because I'll never be able to know whether or not a project could recover. But at the same time, when it comes to this space, I have never seen a permanent bear market. I just haven't. Now, it could be different, but I just haven't seen one. there's market ups, but there's also market downs. But typically the downs are not forever, but the ups are also not forever either. So again, I've just never seen a permanent bear market. And if we take a look at it, when it comes to VeChain, it doesn't really need to do anything too spectacular, in my opinion. The reason why I say that is because the market cap as of right now is around 400 million. Now, if we take a look at it, what is the market cap when it comes to VeChain back in December of 2024? Around 5.3 billion. So we're around 12 times lower than that, which is kind of ridiculous, right? It kind of showcases just how much VeChain has gone down, which may seem like a bad thing at first glance, but because I don't mind the dip, I don't necessarily find it to be a bad thing. Now, do I want things to be low forever? Absolutely not. Why would I want that? But at the same time, I don't mind it for the time being, because imagine if VeChain went back to December 2024. Again, we're around 12 times lower than that. Kind of a little bit ridiculous, right? Considering just how much VeChain has gone down. But hey, you know what? I'm not going to complain about the dip, so to speak. But again, because I don't mind the dip, if I take a look at it as well, let's say I don't want to take a look at it that far. Let's just say I take a look at August of 2025. So it's not even a year ago. Again, August of 2025. The market cap was around 2 billion. So around 5 times lower than that. The thing is this, if let's say Bitcoin went back to August of 2025 levels, it's not 5 times lower than that. It's just around 2 times lower than its all-time high. That's it. When it comes to VeChain, it's around 5 times lower than August of 2025. August of 2025 was considered a pretty bad baseline for VeChain anyways, but still we're around 5 times lower than that. A little bit ridiculous, again, the way you take a look at it. But hey, you know what? I'm not going to complain about that. If I take a look at it, right? As of right now, the market cap is literally back at 2020 levels. Now, that may seem like a bad thing at first glance, but if I'm seeing levels that were once seen 6 years ago, basically, but it's like here right now, am I going to complain? I don't think I would. It showcases that VeChain is historically, as of right now, pretty low. But I don't mind things being low. That's the thing. Now, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but that's just personally what I'm doing. Now, I'm still dollar cost averaging once every approximately 30 days. I don't want to do any more than that though, but I'm just saying that's what I'm doing, because I'll never be able to know when the market could recover. I'll never be able to know if it could ever even recover. So what I do is I just hold and I just wait, and literally that's it. I mean, I don't have to do it though. It's like purely voluntary on my part, but I just like VeChain overall because it's focused on supply chain management. Historically speaking, as of right now, it's beginning to have this very heavy emphasis in regard to AI, especially through Agent Suite. But still, we're going to have to wait and see what happens when it comes to Agent Suite moving forward. So I'll be sure to make updates when it comes to that. But besides that, VeChain, seeing how originally very well known for its focus when it comes to supply chain management, and as of right now being very focused on AI, I'm not going to complain about that, because imagine if, let's say, that AI narrative were to kick in, let's say if we were to enter when it comes to this space, VeChain is waiting right there. So yes, it's focused on supply chain management. That's still its bread and butter. It's still the main focus primarily. But VeChain now is also focused on AI. It's another main focus too. So I find it pretty interesting. So I like seeing the evolution when it comes to VeChain, but hey, you know what? If VeChain could ever return back to around a 2 billion market cap, we're around 5 times lower than that. If it could go back to around a 5.3 billion market cap, we're around 12 times lower than that. And again, it's not like it's groundbreaking or anything. We saw around a 2 billion market cap back in August of last year, and we saw around a 5.3 billion market cap in December of 2024. So if VeChain could just go to either of those levels, I'm going to Sizzler. It doesn't mean it will, though. I mean, we'll wait and see. But if it does, I'm going to Sizzler, the restaurant. But as of right now, it's been a pretty quick update just to kind of showcase that, hey, you know what? When it comes to VeChain, some of the statistics, it seems still pretty cool to me. It may not be cool to everyone, but I think that is just pretty cool, personally, in my perspective. Just what I'm seeing when it comes to the statistics. Now, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward. So I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very amazing day.